Hey, so I just want to real quick share with y'all what happened to me in my day today. Today was a very frustrating day. We got a new computer in. I thought that you could restore the computer from a backup. Couldn't restore it from a backup like I've done I don't know how many times. And so I ended up trying to figure it out. I went and read, if you listen to this, my goodness, if this is not life. So I first went to I went to Apple support because that's the first place you go when you can't figure something out with Apple. So I go to Apple support. I start reading through Apple support. Boom, I try the solutions. Well, the solutions I tried then don't work, even though I'm looking at Apple support, right? These are the people, this is the people who made the machine. So I'm like, they got to know what they're talking about. All right, so nothing that they saying works. So then I search online, I go through the forums. I'm talking to other people who are Apple users, who understand how to use Apple, and I'm looking and I tried what they tried. And a lot of them, boom, I did this and it worked, right? So what was on the Apple support website didn't work for me. What was on these forums didn't work for me. So then I call in to Apple and I'm talking to the people and they telling me what's going on. Dude tells me what to do. And I've tried everything, right? So I'm talking to this other dude. I'm like, I'm gonna try this, but this ain't gonna work because I've already done it before. I've tried this before. Even though I'm talking to an expert, even though he does this all the time, I'm gonna try it, but I'm sure it's not gonna work because it hasn't worked for me. He tells me what to do. I do that. Matter of fact, the reason I had to call in is because I was trying stuff and trying stuff and trying stuff and trying stuff and trying stuff, and it got to a place where I was seeing something that I hadn't heard anybody else talk about, right? And so I started researching it. And when I research it, wouldn't you know, what I'm seeing takes me right back to the Apple support site. So I go to the Apple support site and I'm like, man, but what they saying, like I understand what they're saying. I'm trying what they're saying, but I'm getting an error message even when I do that I haven't seen before, and then nobody else has written about. So I gotta call in. So I call in. I'm talking to my man. My man's name is Joey. And so as I'm talking to Joey, Joey lets me know what to do. So I do that. But Joey is telling me to do stuff I've already done. So I do what I've already done. And I get to a place where Joey says, and it wasn't working. And so all of a sudden, Joey tells me to change something. I changed something. It was the one thing I hadn't done because I thought, nope, what difference would it make? I changed a cable. When I changed that one cable, boom, it got to the next place that I was supposed to be. And so then Joey says, hey, so go through the routine that you usually go through, that you've been through before, now that we've changed the cable, and it should work. And so I'm like, word. So I do it. Now, the first few times I had done this specific thing, Apple usually has this blue line that comes up and you can see it kind of incrementally moving, right? And it had incrementally moved fairly quickly. So I do it this time and I just see this joint right at the beginning. And I'm on the phone with Joey for like 10, maybe 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, honestly. And so I'm like, Joey, does this normally take this long? Because it didn't do this before, you know? And I said, but since it's taking a little bit longer this time, I'm going to assume that it's working. And so he said, yeah, it usually takes about 35 or 40 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool, man. It didn't take that the first time, but again, we made a change, and then boom. All right, this is different. Even though I'm seeing the same thing, the time frame is taking longer, so it's got to be different. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Joey's like, hey, man, I can get off the phone with you. I can email you, and you won't have to wait in line or anything. From the email, you can click on it, you get straight back to me. I'm like, all right, bet, let's do that. So Joey hangs up the phone. I'm looking for the email, don't get the email. Looking for the email, don't see an email. I'm looking at the thing, it's not moving. Shout out to Alan Jones, my coworker. Alan comes in and he sits down and I'm telling Alan, bro, this joint ain't moving. I don't know what's going on. And I started to get impatient. Like, I'm trying to wait. I know what Joey said. I know he works for Apple. I know he's done this before. I know we made a change that is different. But man, I'm telling you, this thing ain't moving. And since it ain't moving, I'm about to hit cancel. Like, I'm right on the precipice of hitting cancel. I look at Alan, I'm like, bro, this ain't moving. Like, the first time it moved, bro, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it hasn't moved. Y'all, I'm 3 hours in, have been on the phone trying to make this work, wasn't working, wasn't moving. Go to hit cancel. It's like, no, don't hit cancel, man. Just be patient. Just wait. So I look at the clock and I'm like, I'm giving it 15 minutes. If it ain't moved in 15 minutes at all, I'm gonna hit cancel. So we get closer and closer to that mark. It still ain't moved, still ain't moved, still ain't moved. I'm looking at Alan. I'm like, yo, bro, it's not moving. I'm about to cancel this joint and start over. I go again to hit cancel and it moves. Not a lot, but it moved. And I went, yo, it's working. Look, real talk, it didn't work. Let me just go ahead and get to the end of it, spoil the story. It didn't work, right? So I was still frustrated. But what God showed me in that moment, which was cool, if I'd have hit cancel at that moment, I wouldn't have known that it would have worked. Like some of y'all got tired of me telling the story, so you didn't even get to this part because it was too long for you and you got that kind of time. But the deal is, if I would have hit cancel, I would have never seen it move, but I saw it move. And that let me know something was working. A change had been made, something was working, something was different. But if I would have hit cancel, I would have never found it out. It reminded me, I've been in the Psalms lately, in Psalm 95, Psalm 94, the psalmist says in verse 16, who will protect me from the wicked? Who will stand up for me against evildoers? Unless the Lord had helped me, I would soon have settled in the silence of the grave. I cried out, I'm slipping, but your unfailing love, O Lord, supported me. When doubts filled my mind, your comfort gave me renewed hope and cheer. I was just like, yo, this is what God is trying to teach me in this season, where he keeps reminding me that I'm a wounded healer, that he wants me to be doing Lazarus ministry, that not everything is going to be healed at this time, but some things are going to die and he's going to resurrect some things. He's been reminding me of that. He let me know, look, y'all, after all of that, 3 hours of conversation on the phone with Apple and everything, homeboy was like, the last guy I talked to, Lance was his name. It's amazing. I got a good friend named Lance. Shout out to Lance. If Lance hears this, Robin, let Lance listen to it. But that word, because of my friend, I looked at it, and it means to pierce through. Y'all know what a lance is. Anyway, I just thought, man, how dope is it that I spoke to Joey? I don't know if his real name is Joseph or not, but that's a biblical name. Then I talked to Lance. It means to pierce through. And the Lord was piercing through to speak to me to say, Pope, just wait. I know it looks like it's not. I know it looked like it ain't working. I know that some of y'all listen to me, it looked like it ain't working. But if you hit cancel right now, I know I've done it before, but I've done this before. I've been through this before. I've talked to God. I know he made me. I know he made people, but I talked to him. I've now gone to my church. I've gone to the forum. I've talked to people. I've read the word, but I don't see my situation right here in the word. And it doesn't seem like it's working for me. But if somebody just hold on, I'm telling you, it's going to work. Now, somebody's going, but man, in your analogy, that didn't work. Don't get it twisted. I still got to the answer. The answer is I need to return the machine. But if I would have hit cancel at the time I would have hit cancel, I would not have the information that I needed when I talked to Lance to let Lance know that we got a bigger problem than I recognized. And Lance let me know, hey, that problem is too big for you. You have to send that back to Apple. Man, I'm telling you, that'll preach. And I'm slipping. I'm ready to hit cancel. I'm ready to quit. That's some of y'all listening to me right now. You ready to quit. I understand. I understand. But boy, what God let me know is if I would have hit cancel, I'd have never seen that ball move. And it moved and it moved and it moved and it moved and it moved. Didn't move quickly. Didn't move promptly, but it moved in a way that it let me know it was working. I know this was long. I'm sorry. I was trying to keep this to like 5 minutes, but it was just too good. I hope that it encouraged you. I hope it blesses you. I love you. Have a wonderful day. This brightened up my day. It encouraged me just to see God working in the midst of my mess. Sometimes you're in a mess so you can get a message. And that's what God gave me. I hope that it blessed you. God bless you. I love you. Good night. Peace.